This episode is brought to you by Aqilah, winner of Harper's Bazaar Malaysia's Hot 100 Beauty Awards. Hey everyone, and welcome to Fam Real Talk TV, where we celebrate the many untold stories and successes of women in Asia. My name is Khaja, and together with my co-founder Nisa Aris, we have founded FAM, which stands for Female Entrepreneurs Movement. Now, if you have caught us last week, this week is another guest altogether, but don't forget, we are also on a podcast where you can listen to on Anchor FM, iTunes, on Spotify. Alright, are you ready for my next guest? This next guest is none other than someone I actually admire for a very, very long time. It is because of her that I am inspired to do a bit of workout or, start on a very healthy journey. I'm very excited to bring you none other than Aqilah from One Habit. Aqilah, thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, how does it feel like to be interviewed?
Ooh, that is a tough question.
Tough question, right?
It's different.
Different to be on that seat.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
You're on a hot seat right now. Right.
But
For those who are watching, I'm sure Aqilah is no stranger to all the social media channels that we're on, Instagram, Facebook. She's always reminding us to stay healthy and stay fit. So I'm here to hear Aqilah's stories about how she started One Habit. So Aqilah, talk me through it. How do you start One Habit?
oh wow, okay, that is like a whole grandmother story.
I'm here for grandma stories, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. All right, so I guess One Habit has sort of grew quite a lot, especially in the past year, in 2018. But I think we can really look back into how the whole, that aha moment actually started. So I think, if I'm not wrong, if I remember correctly, I was actually halfway traveling around the world when it started.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
So this was in 2014. Okay, and I was actually on a trip in North America. So I was staying in Canada, in Toronto.
Oh my gosh.
For about 6 months. Okay, so
alone?
I was alone, but I've got friends there. So I got a friend there, like a really good friend of mine who was studying there. So she's finishing like her last few bit of her master's, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna maybe, at that point, I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was 2014, okay, in July, I just quit a job that I really didn't enjoy. I won't say I don't hate it, I just didn't enjoy what I was doing.
Past employers.
Yeah. So I didn't enjoy the work that I was doing. So it was fun and all, but I just really didn't find any meaning and purpose into it. I was a travel agent back then, and I just really didn't know what I wanted to do in life. So then I quit my job because it wasn't giving me any kind of happiness. I thought that I was supposed to be doing something bigger. And of course, at that age, that was 2014, so that's about 4 years ago. I was like 25. I was panicking, right? Because at 25, people were like, all your friends are around you and they're like, all settled in a job, okay? And I'm like, oh my God, what do I want to do, right? And so instead of like pushing things and looking for more jobs that I didn't really like, I did save up quite a bit from my previous job. Not like a lot, but enough for me to actually get a flight ticket, and cover rent for about a month or two. Okay, it was very risky, all right. I probably wouldn't like
Come back.
So enough to cover rent for a month or two, and my friend was there, so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just buy that ticket, buy a one-way ticket. And this was in July 2014. So I bought that ticket and I bunked in with her for like a month. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna like get my own place, all right, to stay. And because I had experience working in a cafe, I was working in Starbucks for a very long time. So prior to 2014, I was a barista in Starbucks for about 7 good years. And and the good thing about Starbucks is that it's well known, right? Like all around the world. So in Canada, it's a huge Starbucks scene right there. And obviously, like I said, I saved up enough to buy my flight tickets and probably last me for 2 months. And I was like, you know what? I was on a visa that allows me to work, so why don't I just take up a job, right? So I did work. Okay, so I applied for a job at Starbucks. I was like, you know what? I used to work at Starbucks in Australia. You know, can I just join your company? You know, you don't need to go through any training and things like that. So, and I got paid, and I was just working about probably like 20 hours a week and traveling North America. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Okay. And Starbucks in Canada, they paid me $11 per hour. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna, you know, enough for me to just pay rent and sort of like buy that flight ticket to LA and to New York and, you know, just kind of, you know, go really just discover myself. I think that was the whole point of that trip because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I thought that why not, I'll just go out and see what I like doing. I was probably very, very inspired traveling to America. I think there's just this whole, I don't know, it's just a vibe of, you know, the Americans that is just so inspiring, that just lets you open up. Maybe because it was just outside my comfort zone, I wasn't at home, you know, and you know, people that I meet are super friendly, especially in Canada. Have you been to Canada?
Yeah, actually no.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I would love to go.
Oh yeah. Oh, Canadians are like so nice. They are like, you know, surprisingly nice. I didn't have any expectations going there, and I was like, they are like
nice.
So nice. Yeah. Okay. So and then, you know, it's just sort of I enjoyed the whole traveling, and I met people. I met kind of like people who inspires me to just take a step. And then when I took a step back and looked at Singapore at that point, I saw an opportunity. Or a gap. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. And back then there was this thing in America where they really teach a lot about fitness, about habit-based coaching. Okay, so, you know, instead of changing our lifestyle with, you know, the regular meal plans, trying to kind of fit in 6 days of workout because you want to lose like a lot of weight in a short time. But this time around, it's more of like a long-term thing where you work with a coach and this coach will be with you to help you change your habits, change your lifestyle, one habit at a time. So and that was probably towards the end of my trip in Canada. So I've already visited a little bit of North America, the east side of Canada. So it was awesome. And then I decided that, hey, you know what? I'm going to try it and do this in Singapore.
But do you wake up like all right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be a coach. Like, do you wake up like that, or like, tell me how?
No. Okay. So, all right. So I started out writing an ebook. I did. I had this ebook where, because I like to cook and I like to just kind of experiment on recipes. And I gotta say, prior to that, okay, even though I was a travel agent, I was also a personal trainer. So I already had fitness background since 2011. So I lost a lot of weight. I finished my physiology degree in uni, and then I studied personal training. I studied nutrition, and then after that, I sort of still don't know what to do. I thought the idea of travel agent is a nice thing because I wanted to travel.
Travel agent because I wanted to
I know, and I was totally like, you know, I was strict. That's why I quit. But you know, and then that's it. And then so I already had that knowledge. I know how it feels like to train someone, but there's always this kind of like thing that is not complete when it comes to personal training. It's like you train someone in terms of fitness, but you don't really cover anything about their nutrition. It's usually a very short-term thing all the time. And I kind of hated that because when I lost weight, I followed a really fast, you know, drastic diet over 8 months. And then after that, I sort of, you know, I was lost because I don't know what to do because of this whole calorie change, and I don't know how to live my life sustainably. So that was the gap, and that was the opportunity. So I didn't really wake up and say like, hey, I'm gonna be a coach. I just kind of wake up and be like, you know what, there isn't much solutions out there in Singapore where people teach how to live healthy sustainably, because it's really all about fast results and stuff. So I saw that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna be that person who actually focus on helping you lose weight and sustain it instead of just helping you lose weight.
Correct.
So that was the gap that I saw,
Yeah.
and from then that was the start of One Habit, and that was in March 2015. After my trip, I went back to Sydney where my parents live, and then I told my mom, I was like, look, Mom, you know, there's this, you know, whole thing in Singapore. I'm going to just go. And I packed my bags and I
you just came back.
I know, yeah. And then, I came back to Singapore and there you go.
And for those who are watching, you must know One Habit is like a two-story studio right in the heart of Arab Street. Tell us, how was it like, you know, opening the keys for the very first time? Were you there painting? Were you there? How was the setup like? Tell us, yeah.
Okay, so this studio is actually a really new thing. And it was like, so this studio started in March 2018, which was last year. It wasn't something that was planned.
Right,
It was
really?
just something
Oh my gosh.
that happened. I guess, you know, when it comes to business, I'm a person where, you know, I love making plans, but I also believe that, you know, the best thing happens when you're busy making plans.
Yes.
And I feel like at that point, it was just natural, almost natural to actually find something like a little home for One Habit. Because prior to this, from the time it started in March 2015 until March 2018, right? So 3 years, it's always been online. So I've always been working remotely, always seen clients elsewhere. So when I first kind of, you know, had that thought of wanting to set a studio up, it was just a natural thing, right? So me and my partner Nurul, so I spoke to her, like, and I asked her, you know, like, you know what do you think of having a little studio, you know, something that we can call home for our clients? And back then we already have our database of clients. Like we already have clients, I already have clients, we're already coaching people. And they were like, yeah, maybe we can just try it out and see what see what happens, right?
Exactly.
And so it didn't really take very long to find a place, probably like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and but we saw a couple of we saw a couple of spaces,
All right.
all around. But I've always wanted to start something like a studio. If I were to have a studio, I wanted to do it somewhere around Arab Street. So around that, you know, the whole Kampung Glam conservation area. So saw a couple of units around that area. And then we saw this one, which was not the last one, but you know, the second last one, because we're like, oh, this is really nice. Let's see another one. And then the last one just didn't really make it. So when we first saw it, it was just a rundown two-story shop house.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Like it was. I mean, I remembered that space. I saw it before. I'm like, oh my gosh! But you girls turned it around, and it's so beautiful now.
You saw it before?
Yeah, I saw. My gosh! Oh my god! Like we've had to. People wouldn't even like. Will not even look at it as a second. Yeah, it's very second chance. But you gave it a second chance. Right? Yeah. And the space is beautiful. But then, and just tell me, like, with that space, how different is the business then?
Okay, a lot of difference actually. Actually, I think this is part of the struggle as well, because when we first started the studio, initially, I mean, One Habit has been running for about 3 years before that, even before the studio. So people immediately thought that we were just another gym. And it was, that was one of the things that we really kind of had to turn around, because we're not just an gym. We didn't really start off with a gym. We've always been that, you know, we've been coaches, and we've always been that people who you can turn to help you change your lifestyle and change it sustainably, right? So as soon as we open the doors, people start to think that, hey, you know, can we come for class? Can we come for trial? Can we do this? You know, everything revolves around the gym. But I feel like when I looked back, I took a step back and kind of see, why do people think that way? And I realized that a lot of our social media marketing as well is revolved around the studio. It's like, you know, come to the studio, you know, our doors are open. So I guess naturally people start thinking that, hey, you know, they're another gym. And they just totally ignore the fact that, you know, we are coaches. And they just want to come to the gym to try a class. So that was just for the first 3 months. So for the first 3 months, we had to, we got into that mess where we somehow was like, yo, everyone come to our gym. But then people start believing that, you know, we're a gym. So I guess that was one of the challenges. That was how the business changed. But after a while, we took a step back. Instead of just really focusing on the gym or on the studio as just as a space, we still try and push our brand out and tell people like, hey, you know what? We are first and foremost coaches.
Yeah, and you know what, Aqilah, to be very honest, one habit is as real as it can get. I mean, like when you look at one habit's Insta stories, like there's no fluff. It's like you do this or not. Like you just don't, you know. But I like that. I mean, it's a lot of people don't really like to be told what to do, but the way you tell people what to do is so motivating. So let's talk about bad days. Seriously, as a coach, do you go in front of the camera and go like, oh my God, this is a bad day. I'm not going to be in front of the camera. I'm just not going to do this today. Do you have bad days?
Every day.
Every day?
I feel, I think let's be real about it. Every day is, I won't say it will end or I finish the day off as a bad day, but there will always be some instances during the day that is sort of like, not great. Okay, and yes, I do have bad days, like literally like full on bad days, okay, but I guess I try to always be prepared for bad days. Like when I wake up, I do a lot of self-talk. So when I wake up sometimes, I'm not sure if people do have this feeling like, we wake up and be like, why am I doing what I'm doing? You start to kind of question and be like, I'm so tired. I just want to sleep, and just cover my head under the sheets for in 30 more minutes or even the whole day. Please don't, just cancel all my appointments. But I'm not sure if that people actually, that they feel that, but I do sometimes. And I think what really matters is that we all have bad days. I work with people, I work with clients, and sometimes when it comes to coaching, I tend to encourage them to open their life up to me so that I can help them in the best possible way. So it's very risky in that sense where I allow them to open up and I'm kind of allowing myself to be sucked in with their problems. And that is, at times, initially, when first early on in my career, it was kind of scary because sometimes their problem becomes mine. It's like, I can't take this problem out of my head.
Correct.
But I think over time, it starts to become natural. I have learned ways on how to deal with it. Like, if that's it, if it's a problem with my client, that's it. I think setting boundaries is very important. So bad days do happen, but you just got to deal with it, I think. I think you just got to deal with it and be as optimistic as you can.
Absolutely. And that's so true. I mean, as founders, people think it's easy, right? And then, as a coach, I'm very sure you have days where you go all right, this is my me time. This is what I need to do for myself so that I can do this for you too. So don't you think so? You have to actually take care of yourself before you can take care of others.
Absolutely true. And I think that is also a good point because not only that I'm coaching my clients, right? And I'm also at the same time trying to build the business, trying to sort of make sure that one habit is standing and it's fine, it's growing, progressing really, no matter how little it is. So I'm always in between where look, client time, business time, me time, and it's social life.
True.
So it's tough starting. I think last year in 2018 is really about trying to find a balance. Because it's tough. Because initially before the studio, I was working by myself. I don't really have I was just a solopreneur. I don't have anything else except for me and my clients. So it's literally just client time. So that is a huge transition. And I feel like, yes, you do need to take care of yourself first, which is something that I truly believe in. I really hang on to that before I can even take care of my clients. You have to always be the priority, consciously.
I mean, as business owners too, do this for yourself before you can even do any service for others. For sure. Yeah,
but it's crazy. I think some people tend to forget that. Because they give everything.
And that's
and it's normal. That's true. Take care of yourself because otherwise, if you're not healthy, physically, emotionally, mentally, that is, I think, the most important bit. We tend to forget. We tend to give and give and give that we don't get anything for ourselves, or we don't even need to get anything for ourselves. It's just that we just need to consciously put ourselves first.
Which I totally understand this, because I'm like, right, I totally resonate with the message that when you give so much, it can be a bit exhausting. But it's always important to snap back, and then like and ask yourself what your big why, right? Why are you doing this in the first place? I mean, like, tell me, the very fact that you know, you're a coach, a female coach, and you are in an industry that is so male dominated. Have you had moments where like a lot of your counterparts or even friends go like, Aqilah, what are you doing? What are you doing in my space? Do you have that?
Oh my God, I need to share with you.
Okay, tell me.
So the first time, my very first time when I was a trainer, okay, it was 2011. I was working for a huge commercial gym. It's huge, okay, in Singapore. And after 1 year, I was sort of done with the job. Okay, I was like, you know, I got all the skills, I've worked, I love what I'm doing, but it sort of became like a same thing every single day. So I always need to be challenged, and I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. So then, at that point in time, I was really good in sales. So I was topping all the sales chart, you know. So the thing about working in a gym is that they really push you for sales. So that's the chart, you know, all the trainers' name are there, and I was always at the top 3. Okay, when I decided to tender my resignation, my boss at that point, right, he wasn't happy about it. So so he kind of like, he was really taken aback a little bit because I was doing really well, right? And he's like, "Why are you doing this? You know, like what are you doing? Like, you're doing really well. You're comfortable. You know, you're making enough. You can make even more. I was gonna sort of like pump you up to level 2. That was the whole, you know, story. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do that. And then he kept pestering me to tell him why, like what's my next plan is. But at that point, I don't really have a concrete idea. I just wanted to leave, and I wanted to set something up for myself, and that was 2012. So if you actually think about how the whole timeline of one habit, it's like, So that was in 2012, and I told him, like, you know what? I'm probably going to set my own business. You know, I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm probably going to do. You know, don't take it to heart. I'm not going to apply for another job in another gym. It's probably just myself, kind of. Discovering. So you know what he said to me?
What do you
This is always in my head. I try not to get it to me, but it's always in my head. He said to me, "Look, Aqilah, you know, this is your problem." He said this. He's like, you tend to do things drastically. You tend to not, you know, you just somehow one day wake up and be like, you know, I'm going to do this, and snap, you do it. And then he said this, which is really sad. So, are you ready? He said, "This is why women will never succeed in business."
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God.
And I was like, at that point, I was like halfway. It's like, okay, maybe you know what? I'm probably gonna like take back my resignation, and then okay, fine, I'll work for another 6 months. And when he said that, I'm like, "Whoops, dude!
Oh my God, that's
are you serious?" That pushed the last few buttons that I have, and then that's it. And then I was like, "Are you serious?" I mean, I'm kind of emotional. I do have, you know, I just cried out, and I was like, I'd call my best friend. I'm like, you know, he said this, blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, you know, forget it. You just quit. You've tendered. You know, you just leave, and that's it. And I just remember that till today.
And this fires you up.
Like, it does. It's like,
and that is like one habit. This is what it is today.
It's crazy. It's like I try not to do something because someone said something, or it's like I'm not trying to, like, you know, prove something to someone. And no, it's not. It's definitely not the priority. But it's sort of like when someone says something, it's just, you know,
that's life.
That is life.
I mean, like, people would always have something to say.
Right. So he said that, and I'm like, that's it. Goodbye.
Well,
and you know, it took me a while to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. So,
and it has come full circle. I mean, like, you are running your own, like, you know, like your studio, and you have so many clients. I can see that. I mean, I want her Insta story. And just yesterday I saw like she was actually teaching a client how to make good smoothie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to learn that. But how do you get so creative, with the line of work that you have? I mean, like, you're a coach, and then you're a nutritionist, and now, can I say you're a cook too?
Oh, I love cooking.
Okay,
I do it for fun.
okay.
So with Asian Meal Prep, which is my cooking channel.
Oh my god, Asian Meal Prep. You guys gotta check it out. Asian Meal Prep.
So that started out for fun because I was just prepping my own meals, and I was like, I'm gonna just video this and see how that goes.
Yeah.
And I guess people start to like it, and people start to ask me questions about, hey, how do you prep and stuff like that, and then it just slowly caught up with me, and I enjoy doing Asian Meal Prep. It's hard work, setting up, like like the behind the scenes is like nobody's business. Like for probably like a 5-minute video just takes me like probably like 2 hours to shoot, to prep, to cook, to clean up and things like that. So, but it's fun. So I guess I'm not a good cook. What I call myself a very lazy cook. So I like to find shortcuts and make it efficient. Like, you eat healthy, you don't have a lot of time, don't waste time. So just try to find shortcuts, which is still, it works and it's tasty. And that's the thing about healthy food. Like, people tend to not or avoid healthy food because it tastes like,
all these old grease. And
which is weird. And I think with Asian Meal Prep, I just really try to teach people how to make their own meals and save money, because healthy food is expensive outside. Like, I can get like a bowl of salad for $15 when you can make it yourself for like $2-3. So, it's cheap, you can do it fast and you can be creative about it. So.
And so am I going to expect like a book one day? Oh my gosh, you should do that. Like a book or an ebook at least.
Okay, so the ebook that I first started, I told you in March 2015, right after my trip, it was actually a cookbook. But I took it off because I wanted to just kind of make it a little bit better. I guess. So I don't know. Maybe it is in the
I will
one
download
day.
that.
Hopefully.
For sure.
People are asking for it, so I try to. Hopefully.
I mean, like, I'm not surprised with the amount of fans that you actually have. I would.
It's Bella, you're like, that's nothing. It's literally.
Sure. I mean, honestly, Aqilah is always. I like the fact that as a content creator, you are so positive and so motivating. I mean, you don't really get that from a lot of content creators. I mean, she has so much energy. When she'll just like flip her phone, or like, it's probably a DJI, right? She'll just flip it and then she just knows what to do. Do you always know what to say or what to do? Is there something that you always prep before you actually go online?
Not really. Okay, so with Insta Story, I guess it's very random. I think, like I said, you just need to be prepared for it. Sometimes when you just feel like, oh, I've got an idea. It doesn't really matter where you are. You just snap your phone and be like, hey, what's up, guys? Blah, blah, blah. Usually for my other content, I guess it's still planned, you just kind of need to know what to say. Initially, when I first started videoing and stuff, you just, oh, wow. You tend to just blab, and it's quite scary. Like, you don't know, you know the content, but you somehow see yourself in a video, and it's scary. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I think everything takes practice. It's a skill. So the first few videos might suck, and it probably will, but after a while it gets better. And I think that's what most people need to remember.
Absolutely. And so what is the advice then? Okay, for example, if I'm just starting out and I want to delve into, like jump straight into videos and things like that, what can Aqilah help me with? Tell me secrets.
If you're just starting, if you're just starting and you want to delve into video, I think all you need to do is pick up a camera. It doesn't matter what camera. At this point, it doesn't really matter about the quality. You just need to pick the camera up and start recording anything.
That's a very solid advice.
Just start. And it's the same advice I give to my coaching clients as well. It's like, you know that it's hard. It's gonna be hard. Picking up camera. You need to learn about the skills. How to edit and stuff like that. But you need to seriously just cover your bases. Start small.
Absolutely.
And then just go for it from there. And then and learn. I think learn from others. You know,
Yeah,
always be
correct.
open to ideas.
Yes,
And just never and don't give up.
And I'm always liking your videos. By the way. I'm like,
Thanks, Mel.
like.
That was
All right. So Aqilah, if you had to tell yourself, your 20-year-old self, what would you say to her?
20-year-old,
Yeah. What
wow.
would you say to her? I mean, like knowing like you have done all of this, the successes that you have here. What would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Yeah.
Really.
Okay. I think the most important that I'll tell myself is that a couple of things actually,
Go
but
ahead,
I'll just say
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
It takes time.
It takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people with social media and stuff, okay, people tend to paint a picture where, you know, everything can just be done fast.
Yeah.
But, you know, good things will take time. Sometimes it requires a lot of trial and errors,
Yes.
a lot of errors and errors and errors until you really get
Yes,
something that is.
absolutely.
Yeah. And when that happens, do not give up. I think at 20, you're young.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You just need to try
Yeah.
and don't settle until you find something that really that you absolutely love.
Yeah.
Because it's a long time to be unhappy in doing something that you don't truly love.
That is
And
so
it's
true.
sad
My
because
gosh, yeah, that's so
like you
true.
don't want to spend 20 years of your life, 20, 30 years of your life, you know, just working or doing something that you don't like. I mean, there's nothing wrong with working and being an employee, but you have to absolutely love what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it just brings you out, you know. It's just that's it. Yeah.
So where can we find, one habit in 5 years' time? Like, what do you think one habit will like in 5 years' time?
5 years. Okay. Really, just still be the same real people that you know you can connect with. Do things with heart. So that same thing, but really try to provide a little more in getting people to achieve their goals.
Absolutely.
So
I'm excited for you guys. You guys
I am too.
Yeah,
It's
I
scary,
mean, like, the
but
world is your oyster, honestly.
Yeah.
And the content that you guys are putting out, solid content. So Aqilah, thank you so much.
No
we are
worries,
actually going
Bella.
to play a little game before you go.
Oh,
Surprise,
exciting.
surprise.
That's a
Yeah,
surprise.
that's a surprise.
Okay,
All right,
alright,
are we
cool.
ready? Are we ready for this little game?
I think so. You gotta
All
just
right.
be ready. Just go for it.
One habit at a time. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So basically, I'm gonna say a word.
Okay.
And you are actually gonna tell me the first thing that comes to your
this is tough.
mind when you hear this word.
All
Are
right.
you ready? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, shoes.
Toms. I swear, look at my
she's like
shoe, man. You
literally
you gotta like zoom in to the
Toms. Yes. Yeah. Comfort. All right. Okay. Travel.
North America.
Right. Hardship.
Resilience.
Yeah. Power.
Leader.
Yeah. Ice cream.
Ben & Jerry's chocolate chip cookie dough. Oh man.
All right.
You gotta
I know,
gotta have that. Yeah,
You
gotta have
this
that.
after this. All right, okay, after this. Habit.
Time.
Very good. And last but not least, Aqilah.
Optimistic.
Oh, that is so true from the bottom of my heart.
Optimistic.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
I like to know.
Yeah.
I like people to know that.
Yes. All right. Thank you for watching our episode. Don't forget to catch us on podcast. We are also available on Anchor FM. All right, guys. I will see you next time for our next episode where I'll bring another special guest. All right. See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. And thank you so much, Aqilah.
No worries,
being
Bella.
here as our second guest.
Such a pleasure. It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. No pressure at all.
Yeah, and I learned so much from you, honestly. I'm like happy to see you in person. I always see you on social. I'm really glad I get to like